I find myself, Barry, underwhelmingly curious about this fight. Like everyone else, I'm curious to see what Larry Holmes looks like after his layoff.
Hi, I'm Larry Holmes, heavyweight champion of the world. They said I was a carbon copy of Muhammad Ali. I couldn't punch, I couldn't move, but I became the heavyweight champion. I beat the Shavers, I beat the Nortons, I even beat the Coonies. Now they're saying I'm getting old. Am I getting old? Well, you got a chance to see. I'm going to knock out James Bonecrusher Smith because I'm one bad dude.
The challenger is an unknown from Magnolia, North Carolina. James Bonecrusher Smith is no stranger to the role of anonymous underdog. It was in May that this powerful heavyweight stormed into New England and upset the heralded and unbeaten local hero, Frank Bruno. Is it a mismatch or is it a fight? Stranger things have happened on HBO. Two powerful heavyweights collide with Holmes' title on the line. Whenever a big night of boxing comes to this small strip of neon, the host hotel usually constructs an outdoor arena. Tonight is no exception. As live from the Riviera Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada, HBO Sports presents World Championship Boxing. The main event, World Heavyweight Champion Larry Holmes defends his IBF title against James Bonecrusher Smith. There have been skeptics from the day the fight was announced, many doubting the legitimacy of the challenger. But one thing is certain, whenever Larry Holmes' heavyweight title is on the line, the stakes are great and the crowd just can't wait to explode.
The undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, Larry Holmes.
And I tell it like it is. They can try to break me. They can threaten me. They can do everything they want to me. And take my title, take my house, my cars, and all my money. But they can't take my dignity. The hell with them.
Frazier is at him. Oh, we have a fight.
HBO know it. There ain't never been an easy fight for Larry Holmes or for any fighter who's got the risk and train and sacrifice. He stayed there and let people take punches because he was a human punching bag. At 38 years old, Ali was old for a fighter. It ain't only one champion. Me, the baddest, at 35, is still growing strong.
Coetzee very wobbly in the center of the ring, takes another right hand. Holmes knows he has his man in trouble, another right hand. And that eye is really opened up. Combinations of punches thrown by the champion against Gerrie Coetzee. This one is all but over. Coetzee against the ropes.
And if there were a Marciano record to be broken with the opponents that they have today, I'll break it. Back in 1967, they said that Larry Holmes, you can't make it. The common copy of Muhammad Ali, my leg is too small. I didn't have the punch, but you'll be able to tune it in right here on HBO. I am the baddest heavyweight in the world today, and I knock out all of my opponents from now on, and you got a chance to witness it.
Larry Holmes has come a long way from his early years in this small Pennsylvania town. When he was walking the streets as a teenager, he never envisioned the day a billboard would be erected in his likeness. But in time, Larry Holmes, the street kid, would become Larry Holmes Enterprises.
A lot of people say, while you're getting old, you should quit. When I first thought about fighting, I thought about making $1 million and having a nice house and a car, and I would be able to live. And as time go on, then you look at businesses, investments. I spend a lot of money in the hotel, in my restaurant, my nightclub, and my business. I have about 170 people working for us, and needs dollars to keep people going. And this is why I continue to fight. It motivates me. Helping others motivates me.
So a 35-year-old Larry Holmes goes back to the gym to fight. Maybe it's to cushion his heavy payroll. The press has been clamoring that the champion's desire is to break the illustrious unbeaten record of 49 wins registered by the legendary Rocky Marciano.
I'm not there to try to break a Marciano record or go down as immortality. Marciano fought his brother, son, 4 times under different assumed names, and he got suspended. It ain't out of my book. I get it out of their book. And so his record is questionable. But that's his. This is mine.
But while Holmes is cynical of Marciano's record, others are becoming a bit suspicious of Larry's latest hit list. The Lucian Rodriguez's seem interchangeable with the Scott Franks. It's another notch on the heavyweight belt, but the mismatches do little for boxing and Holmes.
So I don't care what Ed Scholar, I don't care what Michael Cass, I don't care what none of the writers say about opponent. So now I'm fighting a guy by the name of James Bonecrusher Smith. It's supposed to be easy. I hope it is. This man's gonna come out there to take my head off, and he don't want to be embarrassed on national TV in front of millions of viewers around the world. So when I got up this morning and I did my road work, I'm thinking of Bonecrusher Smith.
But there was a time earlier in the fall when Larry Holmes was waking up thinking about Gerrie Coetzee. The much ballyhooed unification fight had been made for the spring, but after being anticipated, delayed, postponed, canceled, and reset, it was finally called off.
They had promised me $12,300,000, and I even dropped the money and lowered the money and told them I would take it on deferment payments or whatever way they want to do it. And they still couldn't come up with Don King's money. So that was the problem. The problem was not Larry Holmes. And if they could have came up with it, no court in the world would have stopped the fight on a junction for Richard Hirschfeld in Nevada. I already had that, understood.
So after a one-year layoff, Larry Holmes is back for more. Since 1981, he's talked to just about anyone who'd listen about retiring his trusty legs and powerful left jabs. Whatever it is that motivates fighters continues to burn inside the man. But how long can it last?
My desire is to take one or two more fights or whatever I feel like doing and get on out of the boxing game. We all get old, and there's always a time that you have to give up and let somebody else have it. A lot of people want to know, why am I doing this? Why I'm doing it? Because I still have the desire to do it. I still feel like getting up in the morning, running, going in the gym and boxing. I still like that. And when I don't no longer have that desire, then I quit. I don't know the problems this man's gonna cause me, but I know that I have to be ready because I am a champion. I'm a people champion. And to stay people champion, I got to win this fight. I got to knock this guy out.
And still the undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, Larry Holmes.
There's been a long list of pretenders come along and try and take away the title that Larry Holmes holds so precious. Recently, their faces and names have been indistinguishable. Faceless contenders after a lofty throne. Paydays for an aging heavyweight champion. The question everyone now asks is, who is the latest challenger? And why should we believe him to be any different than the rest?
There is no hype with James Bonecrusher Smith, but I'm a country boy from Magnolia, North Carolina. I am the puncher in the heavyweight division. I wish Larry Holmes would take the attitude that Bonecrusher Smith is nothing, and I wish he didn't even run in the morning. I wish he didn't spar. I wish all those things, but I'm going to train very hard. I'm going to train as hard as I can, and because I know this is my biggest fight, and I'm going to knock Larry Holmes out.
Quite the bold statement for James Bonecrusher Smith, whose only impressive victory came 7 months ago against England's Frank Bruno.
I think it was 10,000 people at the fight, and I think I only had about 20 or 30 people rooting for me. Bruno was winning the fight, and he got frustrated. He wanted to knock me out. He wanted me to be a statistic. But I figured that at some point, what he did, he would try to mix it up with me, and nobody in the business can mix it up with me. Larry Holmes and nobody else. I knew going into the Bruno fight. As soon as I got in England, I told all the news media, and I said, I'm going to knock Bruno out. I don't pick the round, but he will go down. I keep saying it. I'm the hardest puncher heavyweight in the world. Nobody seems to want to believe it. I'm saying it, I'm saying it, I'm saying it. When the mind gets to ticking and say he want to knock somebody out, somebody else is going to sleep.
But there is another side to the powerful challenger. Smith has become involved in politics and recently backed Rufus Edmisten in his bid for the governorship of North Carolina.
He's a country boy, and I'm a country boy. I can relate to him. And I started just going to fundraisers, supporting the Democratic ticket. I recently was made honorary Attorney General of North Carolina. I feel very good knowing that I have a college degree. once I'm completed with boxing, won the title and made my defenses and whatever I'm done in boxing, I will have more options open to me, and it's always good to have education, and it gives me an opportunity to sit down and talk to people on different levels and feel confident in what I'm saying and feel good about myself.
Now that quiet confidence must carry this man into the biggest test of his life. The prospects of beating a Larry Holmes seem remote to everyone. Everyone but one tough-minded 29-year-old from Magnolia.
If I have to take punches for 14 rounds, there's some point between the first and the 15th round that I'm going to be the heavyweight champion of the world.
Nonsense, you say? Well, try this.
I still say, I believe it in my heart, that there's some point in the fight that Larry Holmes will go down and he won't get up.
Still unconvinced? What does this man have to do to bring you around to his way of thinking?
We all know that he go down, but he usually get up and he finish the fight and he win the fight. But if he go down with me, he will not get up. He will not get up. He will not get up.
Sometimes these anonymous faces and names turn into monsters when Larry Holmes is mentioned. Bonecrusher Smith believes he could give the champion the same kind of trouble as some unknown opponents of yesteryear. Of course, time will tell, and that precious moment draws closer. As for James Bonecrusher Smith, he's thankful for the opportunity to prove a lot of skeptics wrong. And who knows if he can carry that message from his confident mind into his powerful fists. We may all bear witness to a little piece of heavyweight history.
He's shadow boxing, he's staying loose because the muscles do tighten up, especially in this cold weather.
Here comes Larry Holmes making his way into the ring now. He is the champion, of course. Now he's let Bonecrusher Smith stay in there a little bit. Smith has stayed active. He's in the ring, he's jumping around, he's trying to stay warm, and really that is going to be a very important part of the fight. Ray, you have said point blank, first round is going to tell us a very big story in this fight.
Exactly, because you have to look for the reaction of Bonecrusher Smith once he hits Larry, or if he should hit Larry, and the reaction once Larry goes on JF repeatedly.
And so Larry Holmes, who has not fought since last November, almost a year ago, and even then he only went one round, coming toward the ring now. We mentioned earlier, people always talk about the fact that Larry Holmes is ready to go, but there's been nobody who's been able to do the job. And here's the champion. Also coming in with a towel draped around him. And there's the record of Larry Holmes. It is an enviable record, to be sure. He says he would like to break Rocky Marciano's record. Marciano, of course, retired 49-0. Larry Holmes at 35 years old now. Some interesting numbers, I think. The Thrilla in Manila, when Muhammad Ali fought that great fight with Joe Frazier, Ali was 33, Frazier was 31, and they were both pretty much done after that. And there are the numbers on this one, and there are a couple of interesting numbers there, Larry.
Well, the most interesting number is the age of Smith at 31. Some reporters called Upshaw College to check that he had actually graduated from that school in Raleigh, North Carolina. He had graduated, but in the process, the reporters found out that he wasn't 29 years old as listed. He was 31. So you win one and you lose one.
So is Larry Holmes really ready to go? We talk about the fact that Ali was 33 and all but done after the Thrilla in Manila. Joe Louis was 34 in 1948 when he retired, and Jack Dempsey 31 and 32 when he fought Tunney. Right now, let's go to the ring announcer, Chuck Hull, the introduction of the fighters.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Riviera Sports Arena, where tonight Don King Productions, in association with the Riviera Hotel and Casino, presents Countdown to Glory, an evening of World Championship Boxing. These bouts are sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Sig Rogich Chairman, Roy Tennyson Executive Secretary. The commissioners at ringside are Mr. Freddie Little and Mr. Art Lurie. The representative for the International Boxing Federation at ringside, Mr. Alvin Goodman. This is the main event of the evening. And the judges appointed by the IBF and the Nevada State Athletic Commission are Dwayne Ford of Las Vegas, Nevada, Glenn Amanda of Seattle, Washington, and Hank Ellis Peru of Sacramento, California. The timekeeper is Charlie Roth. Counting at the knockdowns, Jane Broadfoot. The attending physicians at ringside, Dr. Donald Romeo and Dr. Flip Omansky, and the referee is Davy Pearl. The next event of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, 15 rounds of boxing for the International Boxing Federation World Heavyweight Championship. Introducing in the blue corner, the challenger, rated number 11 by the IBF, fighting out of Magnolia, North Carolina, weighing 227 pounds. He has a professional record of 14 wins, 1 defeat, with 12 knockouts. Ladies and gentlemen, the challenger, James Bonecrusher Smith. And in the red corner, from Easton, Pennsylvania, weighing 221.5 pounds. He is undefeated in his professional career with 45 wins, no losses, and 32 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, the undefeated International Boxing Federation champion, the Easton Assassin, Larry Holmes.
Larry Holmes, Ray, actually does look like he has some perspiration and does look very warm coming in here. We'll see. Very chilly night, as we mentioned, and we'll see if it's not a factor, especially in the early going. Davy Pearl will be the referee. He has worked many a championship fight. Smith, of course, if he's going to do business, he's going to have to get to Larry Holmes. The one thing that we do know about him, he is a pretty good finisher.
Well, Larry might jump right on Bonecrusher Smith because there's no perspiration.
That's one of the great stare downs right there.
You might see aggressive Larry Holmes, the very first round, Barry.
Holmes taking no nonsense there from Smith. Smith wide-eyed, staring at his man. A lot of emotion here. Round one. Holmes came in at 221. That's a couple of pounds lighter than he said he was going to.
Smith should be very tight.
Be sure and get your opinion after this first round, because you were saying you'll be able to tell a lot about Bonecrusher Smith after one round, so we'll see.
Watch for Larry Holmes' jab to go to the body and up to the head, and then watch the reaction, the facial expression of Bonecrusher Smith.
Holmes has said he's bothered more by awkward fighters like Burbick, for instance, and Snipes. Good jab by Larry Holmes.
What Smith is trying to do, he's trying to block that left jab of Larry Holmes. In fact, he watched the Witherspoon fight, and he saw the defense that Witherspoon had. So basically, that's what Smith is trying to do.
Holmes trying to go inside and out. That was a very good right hand by Larry Holmes, the champion. Holmes is up on his toes. And Smith talking to the champion. A little bit of blood actually already showing on the bridge of the nose of Bonecrusher Smith.
I don't like what Smith is keeping that left hand down. He's throwing it, he's bringing it down.
Halfway through the first round.
He's very susceptible to a counter right hand, and Larry throws a very good right hand.
Remember Smith, when he lost the fight, when he won the fight, I should say, from Frank Bruno, lost 9 of the first 10 rounds, and then he knocked him out. He readily said, as you heard, I'll get hit as many times as I need to get hit, but at some point during the course of the fight, Larry Holmes always relaxes and takes a breather. And that's when I'll get it.
Okay, now Larry has measured. He's found the target with that left jab. So watch for the right hand to follow behind that left jab of Larry Holmes.
Came with a right hand lead just a moment ago, something you will not often see Larry Holmes do. Almost see Larry Holmes just try to figure out his man.
Larry wants to bring that right hand over, Barry. Smith dropped that left hand. There. He took it to the right hand.
Holmes being all business. No nonsense here in the first round. And the jab is very effective. And there is blood on the bridge of the nose of Bonecrusher Smith.
Bonecrusher Smith has fought one round of a heavyweight championship fight.
Second round, and Bonecrusher Smith, according to Emil Griffin, fought Larry Holmes fight in the first round. He doesn't want him to do that. He wants him to keep that jab moving. Smith tries, but to no avail. No question about it. The sharper of the two is Larry Holmes.
Well, if you look at Bonecrusher's face, you can see that left jab has been very effective and very damaging.
Time in the fight against Frank Bruno, which we keep harkening back to, but with good reason, because that was his finest hour. The only time he really got to Bruno and bothered him was when he was on the ropes. And Larry Holmes' corner exhorted him, stay in the middle of the ring, get off the ropes. That was Eddie Futch's advice before the fight.
Now what Larry Holmes doesn't want to do, bro, he doesn't want to stay inside with this guy. This guy has good punching power.
And once again, Holmes spins off the ropes.
What Larry should do is get in and get out.
And Holmes trying to be a little bit more aggressive here in this second round.
Pull up your sleeve. That's it. Pull up your sleeve. That's it. Circle. Take it to the circle.
You can almost see Larry Holmes just kind of waiting.
That's it.
Well, Larry's really trying to set his man up. But there is so much strength with Bonecrusher that Larry is really just taking his time.
Holmes staying pretty much right in front of Bonecrusher Smith. Smith ducking in awkwardly.
Both guys are really trying to land that big right hand. And what's going to happen, whoever lands first will probably be the winner.
The fight has settled down a little bit here in the second round. Neither man has been hurt. Still a little bit of blood on the bridge of the nose of Smith. It is not appreciably worse than it was in the first round.
I think that's when it's dangerous for Larry. Every time he gets inside and tries to exchange punches with Smith, I think he's asking for trouble.
That's exactly what Smith wants, of course. He wants you to mix it up with him.
Get the tree, big guy. What you mean, get the tree, big guy.
Just got a scrape on your nose. A little scrape on your nose. Okay. Now listen to me. Half. Spray out there.
Let's take a look if we can catch that right hand that Holmes finally shot through. He's been trying to set it up and unleash it, obviously. He missed the shot there. He's been trying to set that punch up, obviously, right through this entire 2 rounds of the fight. And I think Larry has looked a little bit awkward so far because there it is. There's the right hand that got through. But Larry's looked a little bit awkward, wouldn't you say, Ray? He's been away for a year. He's fighting a big guy with long arms,
well, the inactivity
who seems to be trying to block his punches with those long arms.
I think
it hasn't been easy yet.
The inactivity is really hurting Larry. And those broad shoulders of Smith is not making an easy target for him.
Holmes up on his toes now as we start the third round.
The left jab of Larry Holmes is really doing a number on Smith. And it's really starting to frustrate him. because he can't find a way to get inside.
Here's a little bit of swelling alongside the nose. Still a little bit of blood on the bridge of the nose of Bonecrusher Smith. And a little mark up on the forehead also.
Again, this is the Bonecrusher. He wants Larry against the ropes or in the corner so he can wheel away at the body.
All right, Everlast.
The longer this fight goes on, Ray, who do you feel it favors?
Well, quite naturally, Larry Holmes, it's in his best interest because Larry's been that route a lot of times, and he's in condition to go the distance.
Should point out that Smith has only gone 10 rounds once, 8 rounds once, and 6 rounds once. Everything else has been 5 or under. Little blood now underneath the eye, up on the cheek of Bonecrusher Smith, so he's cutting up early here.
Well, also as the rounds go by, fatigue sets in, and then experience shows, and that's what you're going to see in Larry Holmes. He's going to give angles, step side to side, and he's start throwing more combinations.
Got that right hand in and the left hand down.
Now Larry's starting to double up on his left jab. He's going to the body, he's going back into the head.
Holmes trying to go downstairs a little bit more here. Holmes been very effective in this round.
No wrestling now, back up. No punching now.
Everlast, Big Jack. Everlast. All right, you're first. You're first, Big Jack. 2 to 3. 2 to 3.
I think you might hear Holmes' corner yelling, Everlast, Everlast. What that means is go to the body. They have signals that they give their man so as not to be coaching from the corner. Holmes trying an uppercut, just missed.
What Holmes trying to do, he's trying to establish, get his rhythm going. You know, basically he's seeing 1-2 punches.
And Holmes getting the better of that exchange, and now there's blood above the left eye of Smith, and he's not going to have too far to go because he's cut right now in 3 places.
And what's doing is that left jab of Larry Holmes. Starting to find his target.
Holmes is cut above and below the eye, actually on the cheek, plus above the eye, plus on the bridge of the nose. I believe I said Holmes Smith is who I mean, of course, is cut.
Let's go into the corner now. You heard Emil Griffith's instructions. He wants Bonecrusher Smith to go to Larry Holmes' body. Would you explain those instructions, Ray?
I'm sure what Griffith wanted to do, get closer to and back Larry up. He has to Smith has to initiate some type of authority. He has the power to do so.
And Smith just taking all sorts of punishment on the left side of his face. Holmes really working on the left side of Bonecrusher Smith's face. He's being very effective and very sharp.
Larry now basically is picking his shots. He's just waiting for that opportunity where that he can put together a nice combination. And what's going to lead up to that, Larry, is that left jab.
And the jab being very effective. Holmes missing very few jabs. And the eye is pretty nasty, although there's not any blood getting into the eye right now with Smith. There's the right hand by Smith. It backed Holmes up. Appeared to kind of wake him up rather than hurt him, I think.
You can see the concentration in Holmes' eyes. He's staring at Smith. He knows exactly where he wants to put his punches.
There's a good short right hand set up by the left. And there was another overhead right.
That buckled the knees of Smith.
That was a great shot by Holmes. Best punch of the fight.
You would now see more of aggressive Larry Holmes. Right hand really shook up Smith.
Smith trying to heat his elbow downstairs, then came out with a right hand that was a little short. Smith has been fighting Holmes' fight almost from the opening bell instead of getting in there really brawling. The eye, incidentally, is not really any worse than it was in the last round.
Again, it was a tip by a counter right hand thrown by Larry Holmes.
And once more, a combination by Holmes. There was a good right hand. That hurt Smith. It's a right cross that time.
So Larry Holmes is doing a number on Bonecrusher Smith here. Larry still hasn't lost a round since he fought Tim Witherspoon a year and a half ago.
Johnson. Don't turn your hand. If I can't fix it, don't turn it this way. Talk to me. Okay. Yo, you're serving your right hand to block, right? Yeah. You got it. Turn it loose. Come on. Okay? You cut it loose, right? Come on. When you cut it loose, fall up with the punch. Don't stand up in front of him.
Okay, let's go.
On this way. Don't stand up in front of him.
You got to throw the right hand.
Let's get a glimpse of the right hand. There's that long jab of Smith, and Larry comes right over the top with it.
Let's work it out.
A perfectly executed right hand. You can look at it from above. So far, Barry, I think we can say that the last mismatch we had like this was last Tuesday.
I think you're right.
Left jab is going back to work.
In Smith's corner, they told him, fire that right hand. You're using it to block. Go ahead and throw it. That's something I would think easier said than done.
Well, again, what Smith is doing, he's starting to push his jab. He's not snapping, he's starting to push it. And that's the wrong thing to do against a guy like Larry Holmes with a great counter right hand.
And Holmes just being workmanlike once more. Content to stay at long range with Smith. But he is keeping him in the center of the ring. He's fought his fight. That was a fairly good right hand that did get in by Smith. And there was another right hand.
Again, Barry, that's what Smith wants. He wants to exchange punches with Larry.
And Holmes holds on here. Holmes may be hurt a little bit. I think Holmes is hurt. And Smith knows it. And the crowd knows it. And Smith trying to get inside. Hammers away with the right hand again.
Larry needs to keep that jab working again.
Holmes backing up and ties him up now. And a lot of blood on the face of Smith now, bleeding from the nostril as well. And a little swelling under the right eye now.
Smith is just so physically strong. He doesn't have that much experience, but his strength compensates for his inexperience.
Holmes continues to back up, and he hasn't been doing that too much. Minutes going around.
Larry Holmes has slowed down a great deal.
Holmes has a tendency to do that, though. He'll take a little vacation in the middle of a fight sometimes.
He takes a little breather, and then he comes on strong with about 30 seconds left in the round.
There was a right hand by Holmes. Only question, of course, about Larry Holmes is his age, and as I mentioned earlier, that's what people sit around and say, at some point he's going to go, but when is it? There's another right hand by Smith, and another right hand by Smith. Best round of the fight by far for Bonecrusher Smith.
You see Smith now starting to rush
And
Larry.
another good right.
He's just starting to brawl and turn his boxing into an actual fight.
And there is a little bit of swelling under the left eye of Larry Holmes at the bell. And the streak of Larry Holmes stops right there.
I think you may be right. Barry, that may be the first round he's lost in a year and a half.
Look at the gas. Right, we worked out the gas. First, you in next time. Yeah, you in next time. Where? Right. Little spot here.
Good. Turn water here.
Right on top.
Okay. Hey, Big Jack, what we gonna do? What we gonna do, Big Jack? What we gonna do?
When you walk to the jab, you've got to keep meeting him with that jab. You got to be first all the time.
Big Jack. Right?
You can't back away.
Let's see if we can get a look at Bonecrusher Smith. There you see him. He's at the bottom end of the screen, and you saw the punch he got in. It was a long arm punch. I don't think it really hurt Larry. It was a heavy kind of a punch that just sort of got there. And Larry has instructions now from his corner to go back to his jab and stop looking for one big punch.
Well, now you have to start to think about conditioning a little bit here. Tempo of this fight has picked up quite a lot. Words of encouragement from Larry Holmes' corner.
You know what happens, Barry, when as the fight gets older, he learns how to reserve some energy. And that's why, fighters like Larry, they take a breather here and there, which is really smart.
Holmes' corner advising his man to go to the body. Before, as you heard, we told you they had signals. They were yelling Everlast, which means go downstairs. Now they're telling him to headhunt. Stay with the jab. Another right hand by Smith. It wasn't a big punch, but it was enough to get Holmes' attention again. Good shot by Smith to the ribs. And Holmes is wild with a right. Larry Holmes breathing through his mouth a little bit here, too.
Well, after such a long layoff, you need a few fights to get things back to rolling.
Yeah, remember the last time he fought, which has been almost a year, he went only one round against Marvis Frazier. And 5 rounds 2 months before that.
You know what I'm really afraid of, Barry, is when Larry tries to counter, because what happens, Smith is throwing the right hand too. So it's like two meteors.
That's exactly what Emil Griffith had said in Smith's corner. He said, when he throws a punch, you throw a punch. Smith's corner has done a pretty good job on that eye, actually. It is not much worse than it was about 3 rounds ago.
Smith now started to gain some more confidence. He's gaining his momentum. And that's due because he's been able to hit Larry with a couple of shots.
You can see Smith's confidence grow a little bit here. And he took a shot, did Holmes. He gave one to the midsection, but he took one in return. Smith's timing his punches a lot better. I think Larry Holmes is a little bit tired, Ray. We want to remind you of some programming coming up on HBO Inside the NFL. Great show it is, every Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. Len Dawson and Nick Bonacani, as always, on hand for that, and they'll zero in on the highlights, special features, and a lot of guests right through Super Bowl 19. We'll come to you from major NFL City on December 6th, incidentally, and on December 20th. Now let's listen into the corners. This is Smith.
Come on, listen.
Okay.
Come on. You got to keep the pressure and work.
Right hand.
No,
Okay.
start working the body now, please. You gotta work the body now, man. You got to work
Just
the
keep the
body.
towel on the shoulder.
It's on the shoulder. So you work the body.
I got it, baby.
And do it your way.
Take it down. There you are. Stay there.
Larry Larry Holmes is clearly winning this fight so far, but right now I'd have to say he's picking up where Tim Witherspoon left off, and he's not being very impressive.
And Smith is just having a good time. He was laughing in his corner.
Had a big smile on his face when Griffin told Smith that Holmes was tired.
You know, we should point out that Larry Holmes, by his own admission, hates the 7th round. He was knocked down by Ernie Shavers in the 7th round. He was knocked down by Ronaldo Snipes in the 7th round. He does not like this round, and he says himself that the 7th round scares him.
Bringing his punches under now, because when Smith comes in, he comes with his head down, and you'll see, Barry, when Smith goes in, his head is down, so the upcut, and that's what I mean, bringing the punches under, will be very effective.
Smith definitely wants Holmes in a brawl if he can get him in one. Smith's corner was telling him to go to the body. He hasn't done that.
That's it. One hand,
here in the 7th.
1-2. 1-2, first hand to the left hand. Stay out there, Rick Jack.
And Holmes got the better of that exchange in close.
Smith now is breathing from the mouth. Good indication of fatigue.
Yeah, he didn't seem to be tired in his corner. He was talking without really breathing heavy, but all of a sudden, he also seems to be a little bit arm weary.
Well, you'll see that his movement will slow down, and Larry himself has slowed down, but Larry is really basically trying to pick his shots. Dale's right hand.
And Holmes is cut over the eye. He says it was a butt, and I believe it was. It's a nasty cut over the eye, the left eye of Larry Holmes, and it was definitely a butt. I'm sure we'll get a chance to see it.
Larry's mad now.
He is angry. There's no question about it.
And he must go to work.
Larry Holmes has never been cut like that. So this is going to test the champion now. And he is angry.
That appears to be a nasty cut, Barry.
It definitely does. It's over the eye.
So what Larry Holmes is going to do is try to go to work.
It would be a tainted victory, to be sure, should it end because of that.
It's a bad cut.
There's a lot of blood, and it's in the eye of Larry Holmes. He is angry.
That's a butt that could affect the history of the heavyweight division. There's no question about it. I give him in a hurry. Something like that can happen.
It was definitely unintentional, but you hate to see it. Both men are going to go for the kill now. There's no question about it. Blood pouring from the eye of Holmes. Holmes knows he has to go get Smith. A lot of adrenaline pumping in both these men.
Again, the heads collided. One thing about it, Barry, see the fact that Larry is so angry, he could lose composure and get caught.
Holmes took a good left hand. Holmes knows he's got to go get him, and I doubt that Larry Holmes has been in that position before.
If Smith had the experience, he would work on the eye with the left jab.
You saw between rounds how nasty that cut is. However, the blood does not appear to be flowing in. There was a good right hand by Holmes. It hurt Smith.
One thing about Smith, he has an iron jaw. He really does.
He's taking Holmes' best. The blood, up until a moment ago, did not appear to be flowing into the eye. It appeared to be flowing alongside the eye. But any one punch could get it in there. It could even come off the gloves of Smith. I saw Holmes shake his head, and that would indicate that there is blood in the eye.
Smith now is going to the body. It was a wicked body shot he just threw. That eye of Larry is really bad.
Very nasty.
I think now because Smith has the left hook.
Holmes now has to brawl with Smith. So now it is Holmes who is fighting Smith's fight. There was a right hand. That hurt Holmes. Holmes never saw that punch coming. And another right hand. Still a minute to go in the round.
There's a lot of time for something to happen here. Smith needs to take advantage of this opportunity. He wobbled out with that shot.
Well, there's no question about it. Holmes never saw the punch. Holmes is still on unsteady legs. Smith lunges with a left hand. Holmes is fighting on guts.
The left eye is really bothering him. It's starting to get in his eye. The blood is starting to drain into his eyes now.
Davey Pearl takes a long look at the eye. Still a lot of time in this round. And another right hand. And a good right hand by Holmes. Not much on that right hand, though.
This guy can take a punch. Larry hit with some very good right hands.
Return fight with Randy Turpin. Turpin opened up his eye in the middle of the fight, much like this. Robinson, knowing he didn't have much time, went out and stopped Turpin.
And that's why I'm expecting the same thing from Larry Holmes, because that eye is really affecting his performance now. It's really bothering him.
It's interesting enough, I think, that if Larry Holmes does come back and win this fight, he might get more respect out of this fight than any fight preceding this, and he's probably been closer to losing this fight than any fight preceding this. This is the 9th round. It's a long road.
Every time that glove, whether it's a jab or whether the glove just touches the eye, it starts to bleed.
Holmes' corner told him, box, box, box. Keep your man off you. That's what Larry Holmes is doing here so far in the 9th round.
You know, I really expected Bonecrusher Smith to hit Larry and then nothing happened. But on the other hand, Larry's hit Smith and nothing really happened. It's just the opposite way around.
Holmes working the jab pretty effectively now. Smith has not been on him, and the blood is not as bad in this round. It's very hard for Holmes, I'm sure, Ray, to see those wide arcing right hands.
When they come with such a force. And I think wherever the punch lands, it still hurts.
Holmes jabbing very well. When he does get his man inside, he holds him, fighting a very intelligent round here. The bleeding over the left eye of Larry Holmes is almost diminished here in this round. Hard to believe from a cut that nasty.
There's a very good cut man in his corner. Larry's doing the right thing of tying Smith up, but then again, he still shouldn't be that close to him, especially with the cut that he has.
There's a good right hand by Holmes, but it was caught on the top of the head pretty much by Smith.
Larry Holmes' professionalism carried that round, and now the burden of proof is on Bonecrusher Smith and whether he can take advantage of this turn of events. And there is Smith.
He's still laughing.
Come on.
And there is the former Walker Smith, Sugar Ray Robinson.
He looks great.
Well into his 60s and looks very well.
Be the ball. Take free control.
You want to disappoint your wife and kid and me? Trust yourself. But come on, man, let's do it.
Well,
let's do it, punch. I'm getting this coach to the corner punch.
You know what you're doing? You've been doing it?
Oh, yeah.
All right, now let's work.
Under control now. You got to do it.
Work. 46 and off, Big Jack. 46 and off.
Wipe the water up.
And so we come to the 10th round. And blood immediately starts from the cut over the left eye of Larry Holmes. In Smith's corner, they were giving him the old, you don't want to disappoint your wife and kids routine. Smith took a good shot from Holmes.
You know, Larry Holmes is a very good cut man in Percy Richardson. And he still has not been able to stop the bleeding because the flow of blood is still coming down.
And the right hand by Smith makes it come a little bit more.
This has been somewhat of a fast-paced fight, Barry. There's fatigue signs in both men. Not much movement. And it's basically each fighter is trying to land a bomb, which has been really the right hand.
Smith continuing to smile at his man. And they're both talking to each other now.
That was very good sportsmanship from Larry Holmes. They were complaining about the headbutts.
Both these men are going to know they've been in a fight, I'll tell you that. There's going to be some aches and pains tomorrow.
Oh, for sure. That's a given. Because they've both been going to the body and up to the head.
And they both, at this point, seem to be biding their time waiting for a big right hand.
And that's the problem, Barry. They both are just looking for one big shot. Whereas that normally if Larry would use that left jab more, the punches will fall into place. For Smith, he's doing the right thing and turning this boxing match into a fight.
Smith has been very cautious over the last couple of rounds. He doesn't want to make a careless mistake. By the same token, he's had his best success when he's been more aggressive. And now the blood really showing on the face of Larry Holmes.
You know what happens when Larry throws that right hand, and whether it lands or not, Smith ducks his head. And he had the collide of heads.
The fact is that the blood is not really flowing into the eye of Larry Holmes, but on one or two occasions. So it's not really affecting his vision. But there's no question about how serious the cut is. There's a lot of blood.
I have Larry Holmes well ahead in this fight.
Are you listening to me? You got this man there in front of you. Go on.
All right, Big Jack.
You can take a look here and see that James Bonecrusher Smith is going into a country he's never been in before. He's never completed 10 full rounds in his career.
Remember, keep the right hand short because he's going to counter right back with his right hand.
Let's listen in Bonecrusher's corner.
No gap here. Let's work for it. Let's work for it.
There's Larry Holmes.
All right, let's work for it. Two step away from those ropes. He'll throw that left up the right corner.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Do your job. Do your job. You did your homework, now do your job. All right. Do your homework, give me a towel.
Larry Holmes finding this is a hard way to earn an easy million.
I would think so. And the pace picks up appreciably at the start of the 11th round. Since Emil Griffith has been with Bonecrusher Smith, he's 10 for 10 with 10 knockouts. So you can't hardly do any better than that. But he's never seen anybody like he's seeing tonight.
One thing about it, Smith really prepared himself for this fight. He's in great condition. Even mentally, he prepared himself to fight Larry Holmes. Because normally, any guy that fights for the title, that's the biggest obstacle, the psychological obstacle. And he's definitely overcome that.
Holmes digging to the body, and Smith reciprocates.
Watch your head's going in now.
Holmes' corner wants him to go downstairs and then come up.
When Smith throws his left hook, it doesn't look effective.
There was a good right hand by Holmes.
It doesn't look effective, but it's very deceptive. A lot of power behind it.
And a good left hook by Holmes. Two good punches by Holmes, and now the blood continues to pour from Bonecrusher Smith.
Now you'll see an artist at work.
And a good right hand by Holmes, and that slowed Smith up.
Smith just
quite a
walked
lot of blood above the eye of Smith. Smith is actually bleeding a lot worse right now than Larry Holmes.
Now you'll notice, watch Larry work on that eye, Barry. You see a lot. He should work his jab a lot more.
Still a ways to go here. Just under a minute.
This is when the right hand can come over across that left hand.
They continue to jaw at each other here.
I don't think Smith can really see that right hand now.
Smith is pawing a lot more than he was. Pawing more than punching. Overhand right.
You know, Larry's trying to throw the right hand because the blood is flowing into the eye of Bonecrusher Smith.
The 11th round has been a good round for Larry Holmes. And another combination. Now Holmes goes downstairs and then brings an uppercut up. And the blood is really pouring from the eye of Bonecrusher Smith, and we're going to have the doctor look at it. Smith's eye is extremely nasty.
Oh, that's really nasty. Gee.
And I'm not sure that this one is going to go on much.
No way.
Okay. The doctor says it's all right. Interestingly enough, Smith's eye is worse than Holmes, if you can believe that.
That's what's known as an eye for an eye. And they're going to have to do some great work in the corner there to get him ready for the next round. That's Bernard Forbes, who was Emil Griffith's corner man, cousin, excuse me, working on the eye.
Come on. Hey, Alan, put the doors for the wall. Put the firm. Put the buck here.
Everlast first. Everlast first.
Come on.
Everlast first hand, left foot. Finish with the jab.
Very, very nasty eye.
The whole problem will you knock this sucker out.
You gotta go for broke, man. Get on top of it.
And right there, you see Smith blink as the left jab got across to the left eye.
And this is the 12th round, and now it's Smith who has to think about the cut. And Holmes, being the professional, goes right after it.
Well, now you're going to see a master at work, Larry Holmes. He's going to be using that left jab. He's going to work on that eye.
I don't think they will let this go too far. Smashing right hand, and the blood pours from the eye. And I'm sure Davey Pearl, when he separates them, will look at this. He does, and it goes on. In Holmes' corner, they tell him to go after it. That's what the sport's all about. It's ugly, but that's what it's about.
Now watch your heads, both of you. Get out.
Larry needs to watch that left hook of Bonecrusher.
Davey Pearl telling him to watch the head also.
Come on, turn him loose.
on his heels. Holmes unquestionably the stronger of the two at this juncture.
Hold it up, Larry. I'm going to check him out. Fine. Come here.
And we're going to take another look at the eye of Smith. And Smith is on rubber legs here. I will guess that they will stop it here.
Both of these fighters will be going to St. Elsewhere after this fight.
It's over.
And it's over.
It is over. And there are two game warriors.
No more. Just watch over there. Stay there and they do.
I don't think anybody will question that.
It was a nasty cut. It did the right thing, but
You know, we talk about the fact that Larry Holmes is a guy who's always been seeking recognition, seeking people telling him, yes, you're worthy. All right, here's Larry Holmes talking with Sugar Ray Leonard. Larry, it was no walk in the park today. You had to work for this one.
I told everybody this guy's tough. He's awkward, punch hard. And he took my full control. When he butted me, I couldn't see anymore. And he took my concentration. I was mainly waiting to see if I could take him out. But he was strong and tough and very awkward. So, you know, it just took him out of time. And the referee says, do you want to go on? You cut real bad. And he says, no, I quit.
When you had to really dig down, you really did that. You dug down and you came away with it at the end. And the people said you only fought one round in almost a year. And here you had to go 12 rounds, and they were 12 tough rounds.
It's just to show you HBO fights are all hard. Every fight I fought on HBO was a war with Weaver and with Trouble Burbage. Now with this guy here, there's a lot of critics out there today saying that this guy ain't nothing, this guy ain't that, but they're not taking the punches. Every fighter is a fight. And I worked very hard for Bonecrusher. He's a good fighter, he's a game fighter, and he wanted to win the title. And unfortunately, I got cut with a headbutt, and the guy took advantage of it with no experience and with no, not fighting for the championship before. The man gave up. But you got to give him an A for effort because he tried.
What were the thoughts that you had when you knew you'd been cut, and it was a nasty cut? Obviously, you knew that because the blood did get in your eye. Did it ever go through your mind that maybe that what a way to lose a fight?
No, because I know I have a very good cut man, Percy Richardson and Eddie Fudge. I got a good corner, and these guys really know what they're doing. And you know, as a champion, you want the best working with you. And I'm just glad that I had Percy Richardson and Eddie Fudge with me because they're pros out there. There's no amateurs in my corner, so that really didn't bother me. What bothers me, what worried me a little bit, because I got a little gas in there, I guess from inactive, not being in the ring in a while, and a little nerves and whatnot. And I had some gas, and I had a chance to get it out. And when I got that gas out, as you notice, I started picking up my pace and working it out. And, it was just a matter of time before I really turned on the gas because this guy never fought no more than 10 rounds, and that was with Frank Bruno. And even though my year layoff, I think it was a good comeback. Now I'm ready to go at someone else, whoever it is, it doesn't really matter, and until I'm satisfied. Now, a lot of people say, oh, he's old, he's 35 years old, but I'm still good. And anytime anybody can get in there with James Bonecrusher Smith, they're going to know this man is there to stay.
This was a good fight for you, and you had to dig down, champ. Congratulations. You really picked it up and won it.
Thank you, Barry. Thank you, Sugar Ray. No offense to Larry Merchant. Larry is a good announcer, but I want to be with the best because I'm the best.
All right, we're going to go up right now to Larry Merchant, who is in the ring with a very game loser. Larry?
All right. Bonecrusher, what happened when you bumped heads with Larry Holmes?
Well, Larry was thumbing me all the way through the fight.
You say he was thumbing you?
Yeah, we bumped heads, but he was thumbing me on both eyes. Real thumb.
Well, why didn't you complain to the official if he was thumbing you?
I wanted to keep right on fighting. I'm not a crybaby. I'm a fighter. He kept complaining that I was bumping his head, but he was thumbing all the way through the fight. He always thumbed.
When did he get you in the neck?
I don't know, but he hit me right here.
Why, when his eye was cut, were you not able to take advantage of it and jump on him?
Well, I can't hardly talk, but he's a good fighter, and I did the best I could.
How do you feel about it overall?
I felt like that I gave him a good fight, and for the cut, and I couldn't see out of my this eye, and I could have continued, yeah.
Thank you very much, James. Brave fight.